Welcome to the Central School District Board meeting. Comments from the community are entertained during the time designated under Communications and Public Comments. If you wish to speak to the board, please fill out a comment card and turn it in to the board secretary or the board chair at the beginning of the meeting. Speakers' comments in this forum are limited to 3 minutes, but the board welcomes additional information in writing. Personnel laws prohibit the board from hearing public complaints about an individual in an open meeting. All complaints must go through the board's approved process as outlined in Board Policy KL. This form may be found on our website or by calling the district office. Typically, a speaker's comments is taken under advisement to allow time for the board to review an issue. However, the board chair or other board members may ask a speaker for additional information or may convey to the speaker some information that addresses their comment. Please note on the speaker card if you would like to receive follow-up communication, and if so, what avenue is preferred. Thank you for your attendance at this meeting of the Central School Board. And so, before we get officially started, I'd like to have Steve Milligan come up. And so thank you for coming tonight and helping us get a quorum. For sure. And so we would like to present you with a plaque. It says to Steve Milligan, an appreciation for Board of Directors 2017 for your dedication and service to the children and patrons of the Central School District 13J. Okay. So do you want to go over the agenda first and then we'll...
No, let's go with
Okay, we got to do the next page.
Let's do that in part, please.
So next, Christina, if you'll come up. Congratulations. You get to come out here. You don't get to come there yet. So stand over there so that your husband can get good pictures.
Oh, jeez.
And if you need this too.
Thank you.
Yep.
So is she supposed to hold up her right hand? Hold your right hand up and say, I state your name,
I, Christina Mann,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Oregon,
and the Constitution and laws of the state of Oregon,
and that I will well and truthfully perform
that I will well and truthfully perform
the duties of board member of Central School District 13J to the best of my abilities.
the duties of board member of Central School District 13J to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
So Christina is being appointed to serve in Zone 5, Position 5. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And this is your name tag.
Oh, that is nice. Thank you.
So now, would you please go over the agenda for tonight?
Before you go there, election of officers for this upcoming,
You want to do that? Okay, all right.
we do.
Okay. So as I'm cruising through here, annually by policy, the board must meet in July and elect officers for the coming year. And for the position of board chair, we are now opening the floor for nominations.
I nominate Steve Mosier.
Second.
Do I hear any other nominations?
It's not good.
So I will move at this time that nominations be closed.
We do have to vote on.
All in favor?
All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion passes unanimously by those present.
Congratulations.
So now the chair is opening nominations for the vice chair.
I'd like to nominate John Wall.
I turn that down. Turn it down with the proviso that I would be happy to do it next year. I just have a bunch of stuff going on.
not a good year.
Huh?
It's not a good year for you.
Next year,
This year.
Oh, yeah.
This would be a tough year for you.
I just have a bunch of stuff.
So I'd like to Peggy Klein.
I too would like to decline just because this is my last year working, and after this year, I'll be able to contribute most of my time to the central school district. But this coming year will be similar to this year. Didn't Steve Love indicate his willingness to serve? I think he said he would. So someone can nominate him even though he's not here.
So he can be nominated even though he's not here.
Okay.
I nominate.
So I was just gonna ask, are you interested in being the vice chair? We've gone around the room.
Guys are really desperate, yeah.
I'll nominate Jerry.
We have a nomination of Jerry.
The biggest troublemaker in the world.
Do I hear a second? You can say something.
I'll second that.
Okay. Do I hear a nomination for Steve? Is the only other name we haven't tossed, the other Steve. Yep. So,
Sure, I'll nominate. Can I nominate?
sounds to me like you got it.
Sounds odd.
No,
Yeah.
you can.
Sounds to me like we got it.
A question though, are we in discussion here during?
We need to have a second before we have
Oh, sorry,
discussion.
sorry.
I'll second it.
She seconded it.
Okay.
Our tradition, I don't know if it's policy, has been that the vice chair assumes the chair position the following year.
The policy's kind of been over a couple of years as the vice chair, and then you bump up. And that's what we've kind of been going by.
So is that actual policy, or is that just, is that?
It's kind of what we've been
So
doing.
it's practice, not policy.
Yeah, rather than throw somebody into the mix that, doesn't really know what's going on after the end of their first year. I can tell you, my second year, I would have been an absolute disaster sitting in this seat. So, I'm gonna be a disaster for about 3 months anyway, she doesn't know it, so.
So I guess the question then is Steve interested in serving as chair the following year? Or would we just break that and elect somebody else?
I think a couple things that we are obviously going to be having a board retreat in August. It could be something that if we want to do something for a year, as an example, and then we as a group develop some structures and maybe put that into place if we think that is necessary, if we feel that that's necessary. That's really up to you all. So we could do it for a year and not say that Steve would come back into the chair, but then have some pretty authentic conversation as a leadership team and board moving forward in those positions.
Kind of a tough act to follow. After watching Steve for a couple of years sitting up here, so.
Is there a 2-year term or do you just follow?
He was the vice chair for 2 years, and he followed Kathy, and then,
She was there 2 years. So.
yeah.
So are you serving 2 years?
Yeah, I'm willing to do 2.
Technically, that would be the way we've traditionally done it, is you would now serve 2 years
Yeah.
with, so if he was vice chair 1 year and then someone else could potentially be the second year, at least get 1 year under their belt to succeed.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm anticipating being here in this seat for 2 years,
None of us know.
to serve you and the board and the community.
I have my questions answered.
So we have 2 names on the ballot. We have Jerry and Steve. All those in favor of Jerry, raise their right hand. All those in favor of Steve Love for vice chair, raise their right hand.
I hear the train rumbling down the track.
Okay, motion passes. All right,
Now agenda?
Now,
We have 2 just changes to the agenda. We're going to remove 2 items from the consent agenda, and then we'll give you further information as we get into there. So item 2, specifically, we're going to be removing the personnel recommendations, and we are moving that to the business agenda items so we can have a further conversation. That item, as well as item number 3 in the consent agenda policy update for final reading. We're going to remove that from the consent agenda and put it into the business agenda, and then I'll share a little bit more in regards to that as well. So those are the changes for that.
Thank you very much. So do we have a student report by any chance? Going once, going twice. I see one of our students. You want to make a student report?
Okay.
So the young man I'm referring to is Christina's son. So, and the one hiding behind, he's a senior, he's done, he's gone.
How can you, you're still a son?
All right. So, Miranda, do you have any comment cards or
I do
anything?
not.
Okay.
So we have nothing from the floor. How about a CEA report?
None tonight, thank you.
Pretty short report. Anything from OSEA? Going once, going twice. So we're down to administrative reports. It says none, and so that puts us to financials.
Thank you, Chair Mosier. How about that? You'll see in your packet a little bit of a summary there of our financial statement, and then following the revenue page and expense page. Note, these are as of June 30. However, there will be audit adjustments. Things may move around a bit as we start reviewing some of the activity, but overall the numbers will not change significantly. So as I noted in the cover, we ended up in the percent to budget column in the orange. If you look at that, that's the current year's activity. Our total revenue prior to reserves is 104% of what we had projected. And on the expense page, that subtotal prior to reserves is at 97% of what we had projected. So pretty darn close on both of those, and both of them going the right way. A little more revenue and a little less expense. So, generally speaking, well within our target variance, and some explanations there of a couple of items of note. Any questions, Mr. Wall?
I was just gonna ask for an explanation of the 1,416% variance on transportation service other districts.
Fine. On the revenue page, item number R1412, so just about a third of the way down or halfway down that first section, revenue section. Transportation service other districts is money that we get from other school districts in the state for providing student transportation. So we budget a little bit for that, and sometimes we get calls to provide those services. In this case, Salem Kaiser has a serious bus driver shortage. So they call on us to do field trips for them. And if we are able, if it doesn't put a stress on us, then we do those trips, and we charge them both mileage and an hourly fee. And we had quite a bit of activity in there this year, so that is why we came in at $42,000 in transportation for other districts.
And so obviously we didn't really budgeted 5 for that next year. We're not expecting that to continue.
It could, yeah. That one's just one of those sort of conservative, we're not sure how they'll be doing, and if we're able to provide. We had a couple of driver retirements this year, so it's going to be an issue for us to be able to perhaps fill those slots ourselves, and then whether or not we can provide outside service. Any other questions?
So remind me, we based our budget on the projection from the state to pass a budget of
$8.01539 billion.
And they passed
8.02.
8.02.
8.02. So we will have a supplemental budget as the budget committee recommended and the board adopted, that we would wait until that settles out and we get our projections from the state. And we will be, Superintendent Kabista will be making a recommendation to you as to sort of what do we do with that extra money. And I'll just kind of flat out tell you, because we talked about it at budget, we might save it and roll it up for PERS in a year or two of the biennium, because we did have to dip into that PERS reserve. And also, unfortunately, when the legislature passed our budget, they passed it at 50-50 funding, which they had done a couple of years ago. So again, our preference is that we get 49% of the biennial revenue in the first year and 51% of the biennial revenue in the second year, so there's some roll-up of our costs, which don't ever go down. Unfortunately, the legislature thought they were going to be able to get more money, so they did 50-50 funding and figured whatever else they got, they would tack onto that second year of the biennium. So we may actually have to reserve for the roll-up, so that we're not spending everything in the first year and then have nothing available to cover our increased costs in the second year of the biennium. So they'll be coming with a couple of recommendations on that as soon as we get our final numbers. In the waning days, the legislature also passed Measure 98 funding, et cetera. So we're going to kind of wait till we get all of that and then provide that supplemental budget we had discussed.
I just did one comment or question. I remember either last meeting or a couple of meetings ago, you made reference to one of the teachers trying to raise money to buy supplies or something, and that they didn't need to do that.
Right.
And I was just noticing in here, both under 300 and 400, which are kind of additional expense kind of stuff.
Right.
We're spending at like 83%.
Right.
It seems like that's not wise.
Right.
So
Right.
how do we go about fixing that?
Well,
Do we have to advertise that we have paper in stock?
I know, right? Yeah. Well, in the 300s, let me point out, like a lot of the largest line item in 300s is property services, which is garbage, utilities,
Right.
things like that. So that is really heavily influences that cost in the 300s. If we have savings in those areas, then, you know, it tends to really reflect on the bottom line. But the 400s, as you say, just our general supplies budget. Everything from paper to toilet paper.
And some of those get
And
purchased.
some of those textbooks are too, but yeah, so at 82%, we do have plenty of money available for that. Again, part of that, it doesn't show here, but some of that savings in consumables was actually bus fuel. By switching to getting our extra propane buses, those fuel costs are going down each year, and that is rolled into that supply budget. So savings there also are helping us. And again, that's a larger expense item. But yep, we have been, people are being very prudent. People are spending wisely and saving money on these items, but
And by looking at this too, it seems like we should be able to have a really good conversation about student fees. Because, you know, if we have that much left over, we should be able to have a pretty good conversation about that to see if we can do to help some of our parents out with the never-ending fees.
Well, I guess my concern is I would hate to have the teachers feeling like they're strapped for expensible items when in reality it's nowhere close to that. I mean, I don't know that we need to run out and start coming up with new ways to use extra paper, but we certainly should communicate in some fashion that, you know, things aren't that tight. We appreciate being responsible with expenses, but we should be using what we have.
and the principals get regular budget updates sort of to show them where they are in their buildings. Some buildings actually overspent on supplies. This aggregate shows that most didn't, but if a few did, then that kind of balances out. And my only other report was the maintenance and capital projects. And note, remember when the bond did not pass, we still felt we really needed to complete the sort of opening up of the Talmadge cafeteria to provide more seating for the sort of bulk of kids we have at that level. Last year,
Man,
yeah. Last year, we moved the band out of the band room and put cafeteria tables in. That certainly alleviated the space problem, but it created a little bit of a supervision problem because there was a wall between the two levels of the cafeteria. And so Perry LaBounty asked that we find a way to move that. We've been able to do that in-house. We didn't have to hire out to do that luckily, so we were able to do that on a fairly reasonable basis. But at the time, we decided carpeting also isn't a good thing for half a cafeteria, so we went to pull up the carpeting and of course found asbestos in the flooring. So adding a little bit of a $8,000 item to that remodeling budget, but luckily we've been able to find somebody to abate that asbestos in a timely enough manner for us to get the new flooring down before school starts. Everything else is ticking along just fine.
And the boiler project at Ash Creek?
The boiler project at Ash Creek is moving along. They've been in there working since the last week of school. They went in to tear out the old boiler and get started. So, yep, we're on time for that.
Very good. Okay.
See, so they fixed any of the alleys down at IES?
I don't think we've gotten there yet. We had a big project at IES, moving the library around, actually. We're kind of opening up the library, reconfiguring it. And so the guys have been working indoors down there, so we aren't quite to the outdoor yet, but they are taking a look at that. And I'll give you a call and we can talk a little bit about how that's going to look. You mentioned maybe, we could get some help to do a volunteer project and we might be able to take advantage of that. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.
So, looks like we're down to superintendent's report.
Yeah, and I'm just going to give a couple updates of what's going on throughout the summer, both in July and August. So today we started summer programming. So for the next 5 weeks, we'll have summer programming both going at Independence and Talmadge. So I was able to go and walk both of the buildings this morning and saw some coding and some building of rockets already, or beginning stages of building rockets out at Talmadge. So that was fun to see students involved and engaged in learning even in the summer. That was really fun. When we went to IES, they were actually out in the playground, so that was fun to see and moving forward. And as he said, they did move some books around and have sort of turned the library into a pretty fantastic place about solar systems. So it was just going to be, I think, some fun learning activities for students both at Talmadge and Independence over the next 5 weeks. We also have a team of 18 staff from both Talmadge and Central, as well as district office staff, going to an AVID conference, which is Advancement via Individual Determination, and they're going to Denver the last week of July. And it's really focused on professional development and building programs and practices that prepare students for high school and college and career readiness. And so they really focus on some of those skills that you have to be successful both behaviorally and academically, building those strong relationships between teachers and students, because that's an important part of the process, and really creating that positive impact for peer groups so they can continue to learn and grow and develop those true personal achievement gains in the long run for what does it really mean to have and work hard, and how you have that determination to be successful both in your academics, but then obviously in the greater working world as they move into that. So we're excited to see those teams move forward. Go ahead.
Is that going to be a major 98?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep. August, just a couple dates. We are going to have, just from conversations with district staff and the principals, from August 2nd to the 4th, we're going to do a 3-day district administrative retreat in the area, which I'm very excited to continue to learn more about the district staff. Again, as a reminder for us, on August 12th, which is a Saturday, we do have our first board retreat together, and more information will come out with that. And then just as we get into it, we will start to begin August 14th, and then going and leading up to the beginning of school, professional development for staff, and that's going to run through August with in-service days beginning August 28th through the 30th before we start the next week,
So what date did you say for the board retreat?
August 12th.
Because we have August 5th.
We have August 5th.
Okay, that might be my error. It is probably August 5th.
It was on my calendar.
I thought it was the 12th.
It's on my calendar as well. Is that your calendar as
I
well?
had it as the 12th on Friday when I came into the.
I have it as the 12th as well.
Yes, it should be the
I
12th.
think it is the 12th.
Yeah, because I wanted to yeah, I know we confirmed that earlier.
So we're gonna make it August 12th?
We are going to make it August 12th, please.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Well, on the next page, it says upcoming board activities, August 5th, which has been changed now to August 12th. And that is set to be at the event center in the city hall.
Somebody gonna clarify with City Hall which date they think we're coming?
August 12th. I
August
didn't-
12th.
I'm correct.
Yeah.
You might want to double check and make sure.
We will confirm all the dates with the
Okay.
facility.
That's all I have for upcoming activities of the board.
So
And Steve, the board meeting's the August 14th?
it says under item number 6 that the next board meeting is August 14th. And we
Versus the
don't,
7th?
we don't
Oh, the next
typically,
board, okay, upcoming, August 14th.
we don't typically
August
delay
14th,
the
board
August
meeting.
meetings. So the 7th would be the first Monday.
The next board meeting is August 14th, yes. And this is, board retreat is now the 12th.
But why was why is the August board meeting delayed? Does anyone?
That was the recommendation by Julie before she left.
So I guess the question would be, do we want to move off of our Monday meeting, the first Monday of the month? Because the first Monday is August 7th.
It was just what had been done in the past, you said?
So if we look at the
Here
calendar,
for me,
July, December, are the only ones, or July. Are the only ones.
so the first Monday of the month is the 7th. So is there any concern from anyone here that the 7th we don't run into any conflicts? Okay, so then we could,
Just need to make sure that everybody knows that we're gonna
we will make sure and get that out. I will get that out.
make sure it gets on the leaderboard at
Yep.
the high school.
So it's gonna be August 7th?
Yep, and we'll get
The
notifications
normal
out.
day.
We'll get
I
notifications
don't
out.
think anyone's been notified, but it would change.
Here we got that page fixed.
Wonder if we scheduled it that way to be after our retreat.
Jennifer, Steve, I think back here we were talking, we think that maybe last year, the first Monday was the first day admin were back. And so we did do it, I think, the second Monday. So I think there was a calendar issue last year, so.
But that's not the case this year.
Correct. Right.
Yep.
That maybe is why it was done last year.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. So with that, we are down to the consent agenda.
Which now only includes the minutes, right?
Right.
So we're down to the approval of the minutes of the June 5th meeting.
I would move that we accept the consent agenda.
Second.
Maybe I should clarify the consent agenda to include just the minutes of the last meeting.
Second is amended.
All those in favor, say right hand.
Stay right in.
Right hand.
Motion passed unanimously. And so we're past we're down to the business agenda, which gets us down to
Personnel.
Are we gonna do the clerk and stuff?
first. Fingers are using the fast.
Yeah, the clerk gets the second to last page in your agenda, the resolution and the summary, or the second to last page and the last page.
Okay. Where's that at? There it is. Okay, so we're down to annually at the board meeting, the July board meeting, the board must adopt a resolution authorizing the board chair, vice chair, superintendent, clerk, assistant superintendent, and fiscal agent to sign as legally elected and qualified officers of the district. So, they were so nice as to print up the way we're supposed to read it so we don't mess it up. So, did anybody, did you get one?
Oh, we just make one.
Yeah, I just made
Am I the
one.
only one that got
You
this?
don't want to-
Well, you can't read it.
Yeah, you can't move anything, so.
Yeah,
I can't read it, so I'm gonna hand it over that way first.
The first motion.
So there's three parts.
I move to approve the resolution designating clerk, budget officer, and district signatures with the addition of Steve Mosier as chair and Steve Love as vice chair.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded by Jerry and Dawn. All those in favor, raise their right hand. Passes unanimously.
And share the load over here. I move to approve, oh, wait a minute. This is the personnel recommendation. But this is
So
three
we have to
different
explain
things.
it. We have to explain it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We
So
gotta explain that
I'm
one.
gonna turn it over to Rich to explain before we move forward.
So Chairman Mosier, members of the board, we did ask that this be pulled this evening. We got an email this afternoon, or I did, from the principal at IES notifying me that one of the teachers that were on the list to be approved for hire this evening had just decided to take another position. So you would have been approving a teacher that is also being approved in McMinnville at the same time. So we're pulling that from the name. So that is Catherine Ryan, who we offered the position several weeks ago. She accepted it, as now resigned that position. So we will be reposting the position.
So that's the only change to
That
that?
is the only change.
So now I'll read this.
Now you can read it.
I move to approve the personnel recommendation as revised.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
It's moved by Dawn and seconded by Peggy. All those in favor, raise their right hand. Motion passes unanimously. And so the last thing on the list
Is
is,
policy update. So at the last board meeting, and it's specific to code GCL, and all just as a reference because there was discussion about staff development. And I don't know what page it is specifically in,
About
midway through, and I'll give you a minute to get there, yep. Because there were several of you that had brought up some language, and so we want to just share the language with you, and then hopefully we can move forward from there. It was in reference to the last line in the first paragraph that says, "The plan shall be developed in writing by district administration." To potentially be revised, the plan shall be developed in writing by district administration with input from staff, because we know that's a very important part of that process. And I know that was a concern brought up as we went through first readings.
so,
Page 43.
So there are no page numbers in the policy section, only if you're looking at them online.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. because we know that's an important part of the cooperation.
Does that address the need that you brought up?
Yeah, I just wanted to get this on more about
Okay.
it.
And I didn't know which one it was, so I had actually sat here to talk with her about that before we got started. So, do I hear a motion from the floor
So
to
that's the only
approve?
change.
Correct.
I move to adopt the policies as presented with the recommended change to policy GCL.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
Moved by Jerry and seconded by Peggy. All those in favor, raise the right hand. Motion passes unanimously. And with that, we're down to comments from the board members.
I'd just like to say, fine job, Mr. Mosher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep all this short.
Yeah.
That's your challenge.
Will they all go that way?
No arguments from anybody or nothing.
So, any other comments over here? Going once, going twice?
Well, as a board, we'd like to welcome Christina.
I wanted to say the same thing. You're gonna find that the policies and things are just, we read through them once and there are a lot. And we're fortunate that the attorney goes through them and the staff goes through them and we see them before the changes, which is really, really nice because it used to be, we went through them before we got the changes to them. So that's really kind of cool. And thank you for running for the position and being on the board. And I want to thank all the folks on staff that took the time off to be here this summer to be with us for this meeting. Thank you to Steve Milligan for his service for the last year. And thank you guys for catching the recommendation so we didn't approve a teacher that was hired by another district.
And to maybe our new staff to introduce folks, I don't know if everyone knows, our new soundboard operator will be Jared Pressler. Jared, a Central grad, whose mom also works for the district, and he's in our
All right. Welcome aboard. So
special
we'll
ed
see.
department during the year.
We'll make sure that we give him the correct date when he's supposed to be here to set up.
This is the fish, right?
So,
And your new board secretary, so
so we.
Adriana Escobar.
And Adriana, this is her first official
Flying solo.
Yes.
flying solo.
Been doing
Nobody
it for a
would-
while, but.
So,
She probably still has Julie's cell phone number or something.
I called her right before I came in.
so, do you have any other comments since it's your first meeting too?
No, I've had a first great day here and I'm just excited to begin to work with all of you and had a good meeting with some of our staff today and getting out to visit the schools, which I was excited to see as I said before, the teaching and learning going on with the students. So finally, I'm glad to be here fully officially. Today is my very first day, although I have been here, I think, a total of 7 days throughout April, May, and June. So it sort of doesn't feel like my first day, but it's officially my first day here, yes.
Probably a little out of order, but I looked through some of the policies, and there's at least one that has, I think, a significant error in it. So are you past all? Was the one adopted change, was that it for all those policies? You went kind of fast for me being new at this stuff, but the one about name change, was that intended that the school would not allow or consider name changes? Because it's pretty confusing language.
What's the policy number?
I'm trying to re-find it again. I think it's second to the last page. It doesn't make a lot of sense the way it's written, and I thought it might be an error.
These are developed by an attorney for the Oregon School Board Association. They're pretty generic, so we'd have to call them and find out
Well,
if there were some.
but if you just read the language, it says the district will not consider a request to use names other than the student's legal name. And then it says such request if honored. It says you won't consider a request but then it talks about if you honor it. So I don't know if that was supposed to say, will consider.
Very last page.
No, it's not considered, because then it says they'll only be changed. Yep, figuring out all.
We will take a look at that and then we'll bring it back to you guys. So if we want to, if everyone is okay, we can make, I don't think we need to make another motion, but we will take a look at this as well and then bring it back to you at the next board meeting.